I'd like to thank you for joining us today. We really have an incredible program and even more incredible participants and presenters. We've really been looking forward to this day. Have you ever wanted to dive on an oil platform without getting wet or seasick? You can do that today. During the lunch break and beginning at 5, if you can stay. On the table back there, you see VR units, and we have actually a program on there where people are diving with a 360-degree GoPro helmet, and you can go down to 75 feet and see what those platforms look like and see the sea life and marine life there. So make sure to take a minute and go look at that. Logistically, the restrooms are out in the hall. Our plan today is feel free to get up and have some bagels or fruit. And at lunch, as we get towards lunch, they're going to be setting up a lunch buffet, and we'll get up and get our meals and come back. And I think as an introduction to the issue, this issue of decommissioning oil platforms has been a long discussion. It's been a conversation over the last 30 years. And CARE, the California Artificial Reef Enhancement Program, has been at the tip of the spear in that conversation. And I got involved. Tom Raftican, who you'll meet in a few minutes, got me involved with CARE, I think, in 2003. And in 2007, CARE and Orange County Coastkeeper put on a day-long conference on what we called Rigs to Reefs. In 2010, we did it again. And in 2012, a bill, Rigs to Reef, was approved by the legislature, signed by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was never implemented because we knew going in there were some issues with it. There were some time frame issues in it that were infeasible, and also there were some liability issues that were never really solved. We thought we would go back and fix that legislation, but we never were able to, and we haven't. And so here we are in 2022 having the conversation again. When we had the October oil spill here in Huntington Beach that got so much attention, my first reaction was, why don't we reignite this conversation? Because the problems that we saw in 2007, 2010 have only got worse, and there really hasn't been a solution. We've also learned that an oil company, Veneco, up in Santa Barbara, actually abandoned a platform. And you'll hear from Jennifer Lucchese today, who is the executive officer of the State Lands Commission, how they had to come in and take over and look at decommissioning and what that's costing. And so when we had our conferences before, we were talking to decommission one of these platforms, we were talking 50, 100, 150 million. Today, the shallowest one, Platform Holly, we're talking 350 million. And I'm sure the deep ones are going to be far, far in excess of that. And so we have a problem that we need to address to find a clear path to decommissioning and a way to clear the horizon on our California coast of oil production platforms. And, you know, the only way we're going to accomplish that is through collaboration. And it's got to be a collaborative process that involves the stakeholders. We need to hear from anybody want to go to Catalina? We need to hear from our Indigenous community. We need to hear from stakeholders, divers, fishermen, surfers. We need to hear from labor unions. There's a lot of people involved, and they all have a place at the table. And so it's only through collaboration are we going to find a clear path to compliance, and how do we solve this problem. And so Today, our focus is to educate and encourage you going forward to have a voice in this conversation. If we don't do anything else today, my goal of today is to maybe by the end of the day come up with 1 or 2 action items that we can actually pursue and go forward. So in 2030, we're not having another conversation, and we're actually have made some progress. And so that's the goal. I really appreciate you being here today. And I should say, we also have about 200 people on our on-stream program. So, pardon? Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so if you have any questions, thank you, Diana. If you have any questions, on every table there's a little card and pen. If you have any questions, just write them down. And we have some boxes that you can put them in. And right there, Diana's holding one up. And so we will look at those, we will read them, and we'll address them. So please feel free to ask any questions you have. I want to introduce Michelle Castillo. We're so honored to have her here. Just a little bit about her biography. Michelle Castillo, and then what we put on our program is a land acknowledgement. And Michelle is Ashuman, Chicana born and raised in Orange County. Michelle works with her community as a land and water protector. She's vice president of Friends of Puvungna, co-director of the Intertribal Youth Group of Orange County, and she also provides safe places for people in her community. Michelle, do you want to come up? Michelle is going to give us a land acknowledgement. Hi, I didn't get a chance to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. I'm 4'11". Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a blessing to be here in front of all of you today. My name is Michelle Castillo. I am an Ahashiman woman, born and raised here in Orange County, California. For those of you who are not familiar with the Ahashiman people, we are the Mission Indian people there in San Juan Capistrano. Our villages go back more than 15,000 years. This morning and every morning, we call upon our ancestors, the Ahashiman and the Tongva, whose land we live, work, and we take from, and whose oceans we swim in, and fish in, and surf in. Our Tongva and Ahashiman people pray, we mourn, we celebrate in these ocean waters. It's a sacred place for us, a place of worship, a place where we give thanks, a place where we talk to our ancestors, and a place that we have all respected. We thank you for building bridges with the ocean people, and we call upon the ancestors to place a blessing on all of your work. All my relations, thank you.